What is easier to do if you're a woman? Tons of martial arts throws. Female center of mass is lower down in the body than male center of mass, even before accounting for height differences, and it's absolutely crucial to certain martial arts throws. Like, you know that one throw you see all the time in movies where someone grabs a person from behind, and that person just leans forward and rolls them over their shoulder? Yeah, that's almost impossible for most men to do unless the stunt person grabbing them is helping with it. But for your typical woman it's literally as easy as leaning forward. It takes basically no strength. It's all leverage. I'm a man who practices mixed martial arts, and 4 times out of 5 when I'm sparring a woman and I lose against her, it's because she threw me. Follow up to that. Back in 2003 or so, when online dating sites were just starting to pop up, I made myself a female account using a random, average pretty-looking girl as profile picture. My cunning plan at the time was to see what kind of pickup lines other guys would send, so I could be different. Boy oh boy. Guys on the internet, seek help. That account was deleted after a week or so. The amount of weird crap I got in my inbox was horrifying to say the least. It made me embarrassed to be a man. I suddenly understood why it was so hard to connect with a girl online, and I got newfound respect for girls attempting online dating. This was almost 20 years ago, and I can't imagine it has gotten any better. Since the majority of posts here are sexual, albeit, sales. Seriously, female salespeople are on average much more successful than their male counterparts. In my industry, industrial sales, it's an open understanding that our typical sales contact, older middle-aged male, is much more interested in talking to females than males. Huge sales buff if you are young and at least a little attractive. If you are a hard-working, quick-witted and social young female looking for a high-paying job without education requirements, I would strongly encourage you to look into B2B sales. All of the technical knowledge you can learn on the job. There are a lot of advantages to piloting high-performance vehicles that come from being smaller. Better strength-to-weight ratios help with G-forces. Having a smaller distance from your heart to your brain makes you less likely to pass out from stagnant hypoxia. And fitting into small places is great for fighter pilots and astronauts. Obviously not all women are smaller than all men, but women have a statistical advantage in this respect. I'm a male server and I can confirm, the other women who serve at my job make double or sometimes triple my tips. Those ladies get single $100 tips regularly, which I've never gotten. That said, it's not always greener on the other side of the fence. They still have to deal with a lot of harassment and unwanted attention from creepy guys. And don't forget those mean old ladies. They are especially rude to the younger women working there. Hey, you, yeah, you, still using multiple products like a bitch? New from Dr. Wolfbear, comes Dr. Wolfbear's Miracle 11-in-1 Multi-Purpose Dude Juice, Body Wash, Shampoo, Shaving Cream, Conditioner, Face Wash, Car Wash, Paint Thinner, De-icer, Shoe Polish. Do I need say more? Now available at your nearest hardware store in 3 manly man scents: tobacco plantation fire, bourbon, and a hard day's work. When I took hazmat with the U.S. Army, we used SCBA Firehawk masks for training in full hazmat suits. I was the only woman going through training. We were told 1 per group would be going through the full deton process. The one going through would be the one who used the most hair. They didn't even bother to check my tank gauge because the instructors knew I wouldn't be using anywhere near as much hair as the guys would. Here's a fun one. Women are generally better at conserving air while scuba diving. I teach scuba and 95% of the time my female students could stay down twice as long on their first dive than their male counterparts. It's a big pick-me-up for so many tiny women who think all the heavy gear is going to set them back from the big muscular guys. Update: so surprised to see this response. Glad you guys think it's as interesting as I do. Looks like some studies have been done on this. There's a Telegraph article behind a paywall that links to the studies, but for more casual reading, check this out. https://www.scubaexperts.com/Are women better scuba divers than men? In my opinion, I think the major piece of the equation does have to do with oxygen use being more efficient in women due to sheer muscle mass. But I do see there is a psychological aspect to it too. I see a majority of men take heaving breaths rather than normal relaxed breaths. Because of this, sometimes these guys will be overweighted to counteract the positive lift created by their lungs. This means they're dragging around more weight and thus exerting more energy. Along with that, I tend to see a lot of women relax in the water a lot faster than men do, so they become accustomed to what breathing regularly underwater is like. For those of you who have asked how to become more conservative divers, here are a few tips. Practice buoyancy. The closer to neutral buoyancy you get, the less drag you'll have. As you get accustomed, you'll find you can shed lead from your gear, which continues to make you more efficient. Spend some time focusing on your breathe. For the first few months of diving, my primary concern was my breath and making sure to always keep breathing. You have to counteract the desire to take deep gulps of air and instead try to find a rate at which you are relaxed. Skip breathing isn't the goal either. That will just make you want to suck down more air later as you get exerted by hold your breath. As you get used to this rate, you can play with changing your breaths to change your buoyancy. Relax. Taking it slow and using efficient movements is going to allow you to conserve air throughout your whole dive. As a bonus, if you take things slowly, you are more aware of your surroundings and tend to see more life. Yep, this is one that has always been weird to me. Most people don't bat an eye if women wear looser pants, longer shorts, etc. But if a guy was to wear a skirt, tube top, or any women's clothing, people will notice. Only thing that women can't wear, that guys can, is board shorts, and no shirt. I mean, you can go topless, but most countries are not okay with it in public. It is a leftover from the Edwardian and Victorian eras when women were habitually dressed by maid/handmaiden. Therefore the buttons were back to front to allow them to be easily fastened in the normal way by another person, but then women began to do/undo their own buttons whilst they were back to front, and it became a habit to do it that way, so no one ever changed it. I've never understood why monarchies have generally become patrilineal. It's just logistically tricky to be sure which man fathered which child, whereas it's generally easier to determine which child emerged out of which woman. The Chinese language even has throwback to some prehistoric matrilineal society. The word for surname is kama, which has a very clear female component on the left. This implies that at some point in early Chinese writing, people took their surname from their mothers. The paperwork was probably easier that way. I'm not afraid of getting accidentally hit in my private parts. It can hurt, but not nearly as much as men's, I believe. Edit. Yes, I've been hurt down there pretty badly before, a chair or a table, but I don't think it's the same because nothing is, you know, hanging down there. Plus I always thought, like, what if I was a dude and suddenly someone pulled it so hard that it came out completely with all blood and nerves and skin and all that glorious stuff. I was like 16 meeting up with friends in a public park. There was maybe 2 other families there. I was so confused when the police walked up to me asking me what I was doing there. Told them I was waiting for friends, and the Karen came up like she was the master interrogator. Oh, okay, so you're just waiting for people? Okay, well, why are you waiting for them? Is it to sell them something? Was fucking dumbfounded. She just wasn't listening to logic or reason. She was adamant I was up to something and was planning on stealing her child. The second I had someone to corroborate my story, I just left after thanking the other customer. Karen's gonna Karen, especially if you're a large brown male. Shit, I've had the cops called on me for being at a public park waiting for friends cause I was obviously waiting to deal drugs. Luckily another customer came to my defense so it didn't escalate, but lady was still screaming about how I was going to abduct her kid. Side note, at this point it's clear it wasn't even about the issue anymore. Because if she had only been legitimately worried, that would likely have been the point at which she had calmed down, and maybe even apologized and or thanked you. Yo, for real though, had a wacko flip her shit on me when I saw a kid tumble into the aisle at the store, helped the kid up to see if they were okay and see if they needed any help. Fucking wacko doodle comes running up asking why I'm touching her kid and if that's how I get off. I just stood there dumbfounded. Luckily another customer came to my defense so it didn't escalate, but lady was still screaming about how I was going to abduct her kid and I was making it cry. Now I just let the kids be unless of course the kid's in some immediate danger. I hate people. I walked out of a grocery one day and a little girl ran up, wrapped her arms around my legs and hollered "Daddy" loudly. Mom was absolutely horrified and completely embarrassed as the little girl realized I was not who she was expecting, so apologetic, and I just laughed and chatted with the girl a moment. Apparently Dad wasn't far behind me and she was shy over having made the mistake. Completely innocent and cute, but that mother looked so scared and mortified, like I was going to be angry or something, that I can't forget it. Kids are kids. They make noise. They play. They ask questions and make mistakes. Can't get bent out of shape over stuff like that. Once, I, 30M, was on break at my last job, which was near a lake. Lots of families and people walking, hanging out, etc. I was sitting in the grass on my phone relaxing, minding my own business, when this adorable little girl walks up to me. She's maybe like 6, and says, "Would you like to run with us?" gesturing to her friends nearby. I said no thanks, I'm tired from working, but I'll watch you. But she wouldn't take no for an answer and they all started running around me. I was stuck in this sticky situation. It melted my heart that she wanted to be my friend, but obviously a grown man playing with strange kids in a park doesn't really fly. But I couldn't explain that to her. I sat there kind of awkwardly, not knowing what to do, when her mom finally walked up. Luckily her mom was really cool and jokingly asked if they were bothering me. I left shortly after and said goodbye, just glad her dad didn't run over and throw me into the lake for harassing his kid. Lol. I pass out when getting blood taken, and the last time I had it done, the nurse told me to squeeze my cheeks real hard to prevent me from going under. I still lost consciousness, but I will always remember that woman shouting, "Squeeze your cheeks, hun, squeeze your butt cheeks," as my world faded to darkness. I love swings as much as you do. The difference is I am a blind woman, so people are less likely to say anything because I am female, and they probably think I'm also a bit special because of the blindness and the fact that I'm a 35-year-old woman hanging out on the swing regularly. I mean, it's not a great way for people to look at me, but I don't care. I like swings. As a 30-something single man, whenever I'm at a park and see an open swing set, I go for a swing because I don't care how old you are. Swinging is fun, but the minute a kid comes over and starts swinging, I leave, because then I'm the creepy guy hanging around kids at the park. The fucked up thing is that you're with a woman, you're the cute couple. I wish parks would have adult-only playgrounds. Lol. Sounds like a situation my ex-wife went through. She's Dominican, looks half black, her daughter looks very white, father's white Italian. She was stopped by 2 old white ladies who asked her daughter, "Is that your mother?" She said yes, but they looked at each other and quipped, "That can't be, she has to be the maid." Wow, just wow. My ex-BF is black, mixed, but his little half-siblings are much more white passing. Some lady started harassing them in public once because she thought he kidnapped them or something. She even tried to grab one of the kids. The kids asserting to her that he was their brother got her to back off without cops getting called, but my ex was livid and the kids were pretty distressed over it. When she realized she fucked up, she just took off. I had a friend in early high school, middle school in the States I think, who who wanted to be a babysitter as well. Poor kid went to the night classes the school offered, and by the time he finished graduating he never received a single offer from anyone. And that's including relatives. He basically gave up a few months worth of weekends and $20 plus for nothing. I still feel bad for the guy to this day. When I was a kid I wanted to do babysitting classes and was ridiculed by teachers, and that kinda hurt too. I have a kid of my own now, but it was literally just a life goal from that point so I could interact with kids and not be ridiculed. But now I get comments like, you never see men interact with kids as much as you do. Man, fuck off. This is all I want. I don't want to be condescended every time I play with my kid. Yeah, but as a dad I don't have an ID card, so, when my kids were little, taking them in public without their mother either brought disapproving and accusatory looks, or the "all are you babysitting" bullshit. No, you fuckwit mongrel. I'm parenting, just like their mother does. I'm not less qualified or justified in spending time with my kids just because I have a cock. And when I got the babysitting line, I always told the stranger, because it was always some stranger making that remark, that their mother had died and I was a single parent. It always stopped them in their tracks as they tried to recover from feeling like the asshole they were. She's not dead, alive and well. I just like doing that to people because they fucking deserve feeling like that. Work with children. As someone who works in early childhood education, I've had the cops called on me 3 times when I took my kiddos to the park. Thankfully I know the beat cop quite well, so it has never caused me any real issues. But the fact that people see adult man ... interacting with children? ? And assume I'm a violent predator honestly hurts a lot. My team is all big, burly, heavily tattooed men, but we are all insanely qualified to do our jobs. But that all means nothing to some random Karen who sees scary looking me give piggyback rides or do a girl's braids. I had a bad childhood and just want to care for the little ones. Kindly fuck off. When I was in high school I had a lot of female friends and friend groups that were fairly relaxed and chill with casual touch, cuddling and napping together and such. Was really nice. I moved for university and there I found it impossible to form a similar friend group. The men were much more frat-like and the women were on guard and treated any attempt to be friendly as hitting on them or attempting to get laid. I had multiple friends just up and ghost me one day because they decided they either weren't interested in me or they got into a different relationship. A couple of people have interpreted this as groping each other, but I feel like what I really notice in men is that they aren't as comfortable with intimacy, sitting right up next to each other thigh to thigh on the couch under a blanket to watch a movie, resting a head on the other person's shoulder, gently moving an eyelash off of someone's face. Holding hands are all practices I've experienced within my platonic relationships with women that I've never generally seen men be comfortable with. Like, yeah, smacking each other's butts is whatever, but I think it's kind, gentle physical touch that is lacking. In a world with so much ugliness and hate, the world needs to see my chest, like a sexual rolling meadow on hills of muscles with a testosterone-filled valley running through the middle. If you look closely, you can see groups of tiny magical men huddled around my nipples, not being afraid to weep in the company of others. As a guy, I've never tucked it upwards. I didn't even know that was a thing until a year ago I heard horror stories about guys tucking it upwards only for it to peek out and say hello. Edit. This is my most upvoted comment. Strange comment to get this many upvotes on, but I guess that's just how it be sometimes. Honestly, I tried carrying a cousin on my hip because my aunt needed somebody to carry the kid. She and I were both baffled why it wasn't working. It only made sense after my first serious relationship when I realized, hey, women are actually shaped differently in ways that go beyond the obvious. Very true about the children. When my niece and nephew were born and I helped take care of them a lot, my mom and sister would always tell to rest them on my hips if my arms got tired of holding them. Like I don't have wide hips, it doesn't work for me, they just keep sliding down my flat sides lol.